Going, gone. Yeah, that's what has come up at this time, this whole propensity to move into that in a very deliberate and conscious way, to be looking at what's here, what's arising, and does it need to go, and how do I go about doing that? So there's a lot of queries and questions that have come through around this whole area, and some statements to share, some beautiful words that have come through, and the feeling of excitement that we are very much on the edges of rolling over into the new. So welcome, welcome. Hello, Charlotte. Lovely to see you. Glad you had such a good journey today. And yes, the weather was all over the place, wasn't it? I noticed that too. It moved from being a downpour to being sunshine. So here we are here in New Zealand. It is the 8th of October. Can you believe that we are a week into the 10th month of the year? This month shows up to me, or has been shown to me, as a very accelerated month. I guess it's a bit of a repetitive statement to say that we keep getting higher, faster, more accelerated, and this is our experience through this time. So we're really in this push. Hello, Golden. Hello, Louise. We're in this push, pull, contraction, expansion, stretching. We're being pushed and pulled in all directions. We're being squeezed and concertinaed, and it's a bit like having a little pillowcase and trying to squeeze everything out of the corners and stretching it diagonally and turning it inside out and shaking it out so that we can allow what needs to go to come up, and to not be afraid of it, to look at square in the eyes, square in the face, and say, what are you? Where are you from? What do you relate to? And what do I need to do about you? So let's clear out, let's attend to some of these things today. Hello, Billy. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Holger. Welcome, welcome. And hello, Larissa. So we're just in such potent times that there's moments when time has sped up and it's hard to know what time of the day it is. And there's other times where it's so expanded, it's hard to know what time of the day it is. And I spent some time with my son yesterday, and I laughed at him and I said, welcome to my world and my world experience, because he was saying that he just struggles to keep track of time and what day and being in the calendar at the moment. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So let's begin with what's come through from Gaia and through my connecting into the higher. So I want to start by saying so ask yourself this question: what no longer supports you and your inner growth and development, especially your emotional growth and development? So when you drop into your emotional body through your heart space, what comes up there that's ready to be looked at, ready to be let go of? And it could be in any of these pieces of languaging, I want to say. So the old, the fake, the broken, the fallen, the false, the impositions, the lower, the shadow, the dark, the rules, the regulations, the demonic, the intrusions. As you are looking to come into your own wholeness, your own healing, as the higher purified codexes and 12 strands of DNA within you come online. So we are in the building, reconnection, restructuring, re-smoothing, realignment of that in a number of ways. We have the Sophianic and the Christed or Christos codes returned or returning. We're all in different phases and places with that. Our original divine organic blueprint, which we have been speaking about for some time, but it's very much landing in the experience of the physical. So October, we began coming into that in September, and it really in September, it was sort of starting to be around here more with some bits, if you like, connecting into the earth, but now it's everything. It's like you could see almost like this triangulation coming around you with the point going down into the earth under your feet. And all of these energetic aspects of self. So there's the original divine organic blueprint, which could show up as a human shape. It could show up as a series of geometric shapes within the human shape. It could show up as a set of energetic fields. It could show up as this realigned Merkaba, which is like a star tetrahedron. It could show up as a halo. The halos aren't showing up to me anyway, how I've seen them before. They're showing up as a string of lights, a string of diodes, if you like. The reinstatement of the vertical rod, so that's been reinstated to the correct positioning, and it is showing up to me, which you don't have to well, what can I say? I'll show you I'll tell you how it's been showing up for me, but it may be that there are other variations. So it's showing up to me as a rod that consists of three different metals: gold, brass, and copper. So even though we know we are speaking in a way to do with light, that's how it's showing up to me. So the realignment of the Merkaba correct spin as well. And then the lotus flower, so that is showing up in different places for different people, not randomly all over the place, but that lotus flower for some people is showing up in the heart, and for some people it's showing up in the sacral, and for some people it is showing up under the earth as this part of the earth star crystalline chakra. And we have got the crystalline codes and the spiraling vortex. So we've got that as well. So we've got the spiraling sort of crystalline codes around the hat line or the third eye line, but we've also got it spiraling around our field. The crystals in the DNA, they are activated and energized and enlightened. The emerald codes, which I don't remember when we spoke about those quite a number of months ago, in the heart, they have been activated. So I'm just kind of reviewing what has been going on in the physical to do with codes and lights and activations. But so that's in the heart. The sapphire codes also related to the heart and related, I want to say, to some of the conditional referencing around thy will and my will, around God's will and your will. The blue, the sapphire, that brings up that coming, the codes that activate coming into your own alignment, empowerment, I want to say. And then the diamond plasma codes, which are holding some of these higher frequency and higher dimensional codes. And so we've watched those they've been coming in sort of throughout this last probably 18 months, but they're coming in now as I don't know, I want to call them little globules. They're like a globule of plasma light that's holding these higher dimensional codes. And they also are coming in as these diamond plasma codes showing up as like a diamond gold foil. So we are integrating all and each of these as you are and I am and everyone is coming back through time to organic time and space, to organic original dimensions, cycles, and we are embodying our true, divine, authentic selves through the assistance of each of those aspects and the integration of them, ready for the building of our new higher dimensional earth as we come into greater balance and alignment. The higher, the lower, the inner, the outer, the soul, the heart, the mind, and the body. So through all of those aspects. And hello, Rachel. I'll read your message out in a moment. Thank you. Right. So there is a lot of the energy of despair and destruction, and there will be a lot of destruction. We are in the midst of the witnessing and observing of the collapse of the structure in our world. And what I want to say to you is that the power is in how you perceive it. So, we've spoken about that idea about how the old house on the land, if you want to build a new house, you often have to pull the whole thing down. And that's really what we are in the observation of now in our world. And just know that it's all in hand. Today, this is what came through for today. Powerful, surging energies today. Feelings in my head as though there is a pump working through my right ear as the pulse of my entire system. I awoke early, with a slight headache, which went away on drinking some water. But I knew that because I could feel that in my head, I knew that the energies were big, because headaches for me are an old pattern. So feeling this is to do with building to the 1010 portal. That's what came through. Hello, Rael. Hello, Jen. And I want to tell you, and don't worry about this, but this is the languaging that came through about it, which is going to arrive in a climactic way mid-month, as in a climax. So it's like we are building to some kind of explosion. I don't mean that in a destructive way. I mean that in an energetic way. It may show up in, as it has been, which Gaia spoke to me about. Well, it must be in here. So we'll see. In terms of fire, we're really dealing with a lot of fire energies at the moment. This month is going to bring many closures and endings that then unfold into new beginnings. So be observant of that. It's not going to be that an old ending comes and immediately it opens into the new, but there's endings coming, and then there's this movement of healing, and then it rolls over into the new. But everything is happening very quickly and in a very accelerated way. And so this is our experience in the month of October as we're building to the 1010 portal. We've got a couple of eclipses that mean that more information will be shown on all of the levels, and then we're moving into the 1111 gateway in November, which is going to be exceptionally significant for humanity. That's what I've been shown so far. So then not necessarily these closures and new beginnings, not necessarily in the exact moment that all of that will happen, but quite quickly. Nevertheless, the impending 1111 gateway will be monumental for us all, and I will speak about that later at another time. Hello, Helen. Hello. So, I don't know about you, but I feel the sense of building anticipation, excitement of what is to come. There's been so much showing up in our physical world that many of you, like me, will have been seeing in the ethers, being shown in our psychic vision and our clairvoyance, having a sense of it in our energetic body as we're using our clairsentience, getting little clues and messages and dreams that bring in the new and show that this old is collapsing. So there's more evidence coming through in the mainstream news about a whole lot of things to do with fraud and government and vaccines and a push, this push, pull, stretch. We're watching it, aren't we? We're watching things being thrown at us um, from the inauthentic as a ploy, and it exists there. It sits in a framework, it sits in a timeline, but it's really diminishing in its power, it's diminishing in its efficacy, its efficiency to bring us down because we are rising higher, and we, at least people like us, we are finding it more easy to hold ourselves in the higher. So, divine masculines, if you're in that connection, or if you are a divine masculine, or if you are aligning to your own divine masculine, which we all have, are likely to be a little bit holed up. That's the word I got. At least in their own energy system, as they are definitely closing out the old. And my sense of this is that they are or will be sorting and filtering in a variety of ways. So, what's showing up as an overview or an overarching statement of that is that they don't feel that they fit in their world anymore, or that their world doesn't fit for them. So, this is bringing a sense of unease, a discomfort, an itchiness, a restlessness, restless feet. And so that is relating to their belonging in terms of where they are, who they're with, the job they're doing, the place that they are living in, where they are in the world as well. So this could be fairly accurately perceived as a dark night of the soul. And I want to say that to you because I'm inviting you to understand at that level that this part of you, this masculine part of you, may be going through a dark night of the soul. And certainly the divine masculine they are really in this, the depth, if you like, of their own shadow as they are examining and analyzing everything that is coming up for them that does no longer make sense in their physical world. It's not just floating around in their etheric, energetic body anymore. It's showing up in their physical, observable existence. It's their soul experience. I'm showing that it's likely to be moved through very quickly. You might remember how long you were in your dark night of the soul. I don't. I remember having 1 3-week period, and I remember having some other moments. But what Gaia said is that divine feminines are likely to be sensing this change that their divine masculines are going through in their own energy fields. And so to continue to hold as the divine feminine or the divine feminine aspect of self, your own frequency and alignment, to keep checking in with yourself. Is there any further healing required? What is coming up for you? And to reach to and for love, to reach to and for joy, to reach for the ecstatic, and to come into creativity mode, whatever that is for you. So I just invite you to contemplate that for a moment. What is your creativity? in your life, or what has it been? And if you aren't doing any at the moment, then contemplate what you can do. And I want to say to you that it is the process of being in creativity that is the focus, not the outcome, not the end result. It's so you can get into flow, it's so you can access these higher frequencies and enable them to move through the body and out through your fingers, whatever it is that you might be doing, whether it's painting, drawing, plaiting, potting, planting, but be in that creativity mode so that you can move things through in this process. Sometimes, oh yeah, so I'll just read that. Sometimes it's useful to be in creative process, detached from outcome. So I remember doing this once when I had a relationship breakup, and I got a piece of A2 paper out, and I had some oil pastels, and I didn't realize, because I could see the bigger picture of it. I could see that it was for good. I could see that it was for my higher, but I was so hurt. I was in so much pain. And I realized that underneath that pain was some anger because I felt lied to. I'd been betrayed in a really strong way, I discovered. But I was drawing with those pastels in my fist. So there was nothing delicate about it. I was moving my arm and I was doing that, and then I was scrubbing and merging and pushing, because oil pastels, you can do that, you can move them around. So you can warm them up and move them around. So I did that and layered it all up, and it was such a powerful, powerful movement of this anger that sat there, this disillusionment, this betrayal. And so you don't have to do that, but I'm just inviting that as the process. And what that looked like at the end wasn't important to me. It was that I was shifting those energies out of my system and onto something creative. And so I still have that. I have that, but I don't know where. It's in an art folder somewhere. But I had that. I have put some tissue paper and folded it over. And sometimes when I'm going through my artwork, I have a look at it. And yeah, it's a powerful piece because it holds that energy. And so I just invite you to do that. So this idea that feelings can be enabled to arise out of your body when there's no envisioned outcome, but you're just allowing the feelings to come out through your arms. Gaia is saying this explosive action, this fiery nature of earthquakes and volcanic action is being mimicked by humanity as the energies begin to show up as chaos and destruction and collapse. And so it was interesting when I mentioned that to my son, and I said to him, just be aware, tune into where you're going, because we may witness a lot of things that occur. And he said there was a shooting hold up in the dairy around the corner, and something else that he mentioned that I can't remember. But he immediately connected what I said, which he quite often is good at dismissing what I say in that kind of world. And he could see that applied. And this is going to be how people dispel what is being brought up by these higher energies. So we're in this bifurcation, there's this choice point. A lot of people have made it, made the choice point, and it's not a forever choice point. I want to say that shows up to me very strongly. There'll be other choice points, but at the moment there's this shifting into the higher timelines, or shifting or staying into the lower timelines. And really, it's about, I don't believe it's any highfalutin consciousness. It's about whether people are really in their kindness, and that they sit with that compassion and sense of connection to others. So be mindful and be aware, just like I said to my son, to be present so that you are guided to be in the right place at the right time. And sometimes that guidance might be stay home. We are in ascension and we will be in the experience of the presentation of this in many ways. So it may show up as feelings, it may show up as stirrings, it may show up as things, as dreams, as visions, as intuitive hits, as messages that come from others. It may show up as something you hear about that has already occurred. And just be aware and don't get caught into the fear of it, but be mindful and be present and ask, should I go? Should I go to do this now? Is it my guidance to do that now? And I feel that we're in this very strong time of that. It won't be for forever, but it's going to show up more. These internal eruptions of people's anger. So touch nature daily. Put your hands on trees. Get your bare feet on the ground. Whisper to the wind, salute the sun, feel the rain. The turning has begun in the physical. So we're in the experience of this push, pull, compress, squeeze, pressurize. And so I leave you with this. Fall back into the arms of your I am presence and allow yourself to be held and nurtured through the experience of this shift. So invite that. Invite that. Now, I'll just have a look because I thought that I wrote something else. When you ask yourself what needs to go, what needs to be released, what needs to be cleared, you don't have to get too much into the details of it. Just invite it to show up and attend to that. I'll come back to here. How do you know what needs to be clear? Okay. Oh, there you go. I just started to answer that. Yeah. So that surrendering, that's a really good place to sit. It's, just imagine that you are falling back and you're catching yourself. So you can invite your angelic self or your winged self or your higher self. You can get your mighty I am presence to show up in whatever form works for you. But I would invite you to use an ascended master or an angelic being or an aspect of yourself that has wings, or and as though it's standing behind you with its wings, its arms outstretched, and you just visualize that you're doing that and just falling back and you are caught. So that's a physical movement of surrender. You could even do it in a physical way. You could sit on the edge of your bed and just allow yourself to fall back as well, because it's just this connection to the physical I feel is important at this time. We're in Libra season. Libra is all about love and balance and relationship and justice. And so we're going to be coming into, I'm a Libra, and so I guess I work with those things. But that's what everybody is in at the moment. So this is why we are, and how we see justice is a whole different discussion, isn't it? So we can see justice from the higher perspective, and we can see justice from the 3D perspective, and we can see justice from things in between. And to me, it's likely that we will be the observers of justice in a variety of those levels, because it will be about meeting the people, about meeting the conversation. And so there will be things that occur that might not necessarily sit well with us and our higher. And I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of that, but I feel that there'll be examples of that. And for you to just keep saying, well, who am I? If I come to my heart, if I'm in my beautiful, aligned, and authentic self, what shows up for me here? What is it that's here for me to work with, to clear? So we come back to that question, how to do a clearing on yourself. So what I do is I do a number of things. I stand, I use a physical motion of moving my arms like this to then come in above in prayer position as I do an in-breath. And then I do an out breath, and then I stand with my hands on my heart. And then I visualize myself connecting down into Gaia, into the earth. And here's a simple one to use that's very powerful. So I call upon Saint Germain and the gold and silver violet flame of transmutation. And I invite that to come into my energy field, through each of my fields, from my skin out to the ethers, to transmute all and anything that is held that is not for my highest good, from beneath my feet to above my head. Now I invite it to move through my physical as well, from the feet up to the crown. It's gold and silver, violet, transmuting light. And I feel it. We can be doing this now, of course. O ishia takana o ti anana, ishia tatata o ishia kana pataka uishia, uishia nara kana sisia na ati, ishia kana satata. Okay, so do that now. Now have your feet on the ground. And take a breath. Move your arms. Breathing in. Hands in prayer position. Breathing out. Hands on the heart, or one on the heart. Take another breath. And we'll call in the beautiful Saint Germain, Count Saint Germain of the seventh ray, the Kohan of the seventh ray. I'll say some more things so you can attune to it. He holds space over Mount Shasta, the area of Mount Shasta, and the mountain range beyond it. And if you ever feel pulled, he has a pink crystal. That's how it shows up to me. Rose quartz, a pink rose quartz crystal castle in the center of Mount Shasta. So you might invite yourself there. In fact, let's do that. See yourself above Mount Shasta, dropping down through the energies of Mount Shasta into the interior, internal, etheric space in the center of the mountain. Visualize this rose quartz castle with a bench seat in the front of it. and sit yourself there for a moment while you await an invitation to enter. So you might see there's lots of towers, spires, that it glows. Feel into the energy of it in your heart, around your body. Take a breath and look up and notice that Saint Germain, he has, well, how I see him, he has long curly hair, not dissimilar to my colour, and a bit longer and very wavy. And he is very humorous, very humorous. He carries a sword and he often wears a hat, like a tri-horn, that kind of hat, with a big purple feather in it. And he sometimes rides a white horse. So he once burst through into a session that I was doing. I was in the audience and I saw him come through the wall at me, mounted on this white horse, and he came past me and he went, ha ha ha, just laughed at me because I was like, oh, I got such a fright. Anyway, he shows up like that. And he often wears like purple, I would say, like deep purple velvet. And a ruffled shirt and ruffles on his cuffs. So that's how he appears to me. So the gold and silver violet flame of Saint Germain, or violet fire of Saint Germain, you can call on either. They're a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. And so he is inviting you to bring yourself through a little water trough. So you're just clearing as you're walking through the water. And you're moving, following him into the castle. And you're moving into a very cavernous space. And so, and behind that is a smaller space with a fire pit laid in the ground. It's all part of the altar. So you're invited to move into that space. As you're moving through this large room, which you could visualize as the size of a ballroom, just pause in the middle. And notice this refracted light that comes through celestial windows. It's rainbow fractal light. And there's a point in the center of the room where you can pause and you have this light coming at you, in you, through you, from all directions, front, back, and above. And so this, I want to tell you, is a code or energetic that is a preparation of expansion for you to release. I love it how Spirit just brings these things through. I didn't know I was doing this. And now move through to the edge of that, at the entranceway to the room with the fire pit. And take a scroll out of your pocket and unravel the scroll, unroll the scroll, this paper scroll. And it's headed up things to release, items to go. And skim read that to yourself. And just move it up and down in front of you. And now you're going to move into the fire pit room. And as you move around, there are flames that are light. And in the center, there are flames that are fire. So I'd invite you to walk in, I want to say, an anti-clockwise circle direction around the perimeter of the fire pit. When you come back to wherever you started, you can say out loud, I declare that I am cleared and cleansed and healed of all and anything that holds me, that binds me, and it keeps me attached to the lower. And I invite my mighty I Am presence to show me anything that I haven't seen. And then throw your scroll into the fire. That's a flame that burns in the center of the fire pit. And then turn and move in a clockwise direction. Watching your feet move, and as you move, you're saying a mantra, I am clear, I am purified, I am cleansed. I am cleared, I am purified, I am cleansed. I am cleared, I am purified, I am cleansed. I am cleared, I am purified, I am cleansed. And when you come back to the beginning, stand in the fire that is light, that is around the perimeter. Put your hands up and out. And just allow and invite that light, that transmutation, golden, silver, violet flame to move through you once again. I call upon the gold and silver violet flame of Saint Germain to move right through me, to clear and cleanse and purify once again. And just feel that as an energy moving through you and through your field. When you feel that complete, place your hands on your heart. And you might bow and say thank you. And leave the space. That felt nice. 22 people in the chat, 11 likes, 4411 on the timer. Does it get any better than that? So really, I want to say to you in closing that we're in such incredible, powerful manifesting energies that it's so important to be mindful of the language that you are using, to be sure that the language is bringing in this reminder of what you want and that it's in present moment, and that if you notice that things are coming up that aren't what you want, clear it out. Clear it out. Like I said to somebody today, old story. That's an old story. That's an old story. This is my new. I'm in alignment. I'm in present moment. I'm calling in my mighty I am presence to be more housed within me and to hold me more. That's me. I'm coming into my fifth dimensional frequency experience more and more each day. That's me. That's my experience. That's my lot. That's what I wish for. That's what I'm having. That's what's here, showing up for me in every moment. Thank you. And the new is golden. That's right, Tan. Yeah, we are in the swirling golden energy coming in. We're really, on the edges of the turn, if you like, and everyone will be in those sort of different parts of the wave, but it's happening. You can feel it. I know you can all feel it. All right. So yes, do that every day. Thank you, Horde abilities. Abomination. All right. So yeah, wishing you so much love. We'll come back again soon, and be in the excitement of what is, here on its way, coming in. And I have written, but I'm going to come and do that tomorrow because that's long enough. But I have written a bit about what's happening in terms of our codes and DNA and RNA. So just remember, it's this going, gone. It's the pull, the push, the pressure, the compression, the expansion, but it's all about releasing, about letting go. And so I will close with repeating this. Fall back into the arms of your I am presence and allow yourself to be held and nurtured through the experience of the shift, because we've got this, you've got this, and it's time for us to be in greater recognition of who we are as these mighty, powerful beings. We came here to change the world, and we're on the edges of doing it. Much love to you. Bye. Glad you're here too.